Greetings and konnichiwa, and welcome to the Onyx Tavern. I'm your host, Rick the Barkeep, bringing you episode 170 here at the tavern, presented by HeroTaku.com. So what you guys are looking at now is a magazine scan for the final mecha appearing in Zoology, the Cube Whale. And today I'm not actually going to discuss the Cube Whale, but to throw my 2 cents in, based on what I'm saying, I'm not a big fan of it right now. But that's beside the point. The point is that before it even appears in the television show, before we even get a hint of anything else about it showing up or the possibility of more mecha, we have a magazine scan that tells us when this is going to be released, how much it costs, how big it is, and how it combines with the other Zords within the series. Essentially, a magazine scan has spoiled the rest of the series for us. Not entirely, there's still plot things and all that, but if you guys were wondering what new animals we were going to get in the series and what they were going to adapt and how it was going to transform and what it would look like, well, sorry for you guys who didn't actually get to watch the show and be surprised about it. We have a magazine scan to go ahead and show it for you. So what I want to go ahead and talk about today is the concept of spoilers in general and spoilers within Power Rangers and Super Sentai. Because believe it or not, this image affects both Super Sentai and the future of Power Rangers, and I'll go into more detail about that. But let's start out with spoilers in general. Now, I am of the mind that you should always give a spoiler warning before talking about a particular topic, whether it's a television show or movie in general. I mean, things like, sporting events, music stuff, that's not really kind of spoiler stuff. But, for example, Citizen Kane. That's actually one of my favorite movies, and contrary to what my professor said, people do watch it for fun. You hear that, Jim? I watch it for fun, so, yeah. Okay, anyway, moving on from that. The whole movie, which is, close to 70, 80 years old at this point, hinges on a mystery. A mystery that's introduced within the first minute of the film. What is Rosebud, and what did he mean by that? Now, if you have never seen the film before, you have no idea what that is. What is Rosebud? What is Rosebud? Maybe I'll go watch the movie to figure out what the heck Rosebud is. But because the movie is that old, and it's such a part of film history, it's AFI's #1 movie ever, people have already told you what the movie is about, what it is. I mean, there's a throwaway joke on Family Guy where Peter taped over Citizen Kane to inform the people watching that it is his, and I'm not going to tell you guys because that is spoiling, but Peter says, there it is, that's what it is, and I just saved you 2 boobless hours. I don't think he should have done that. I don't think that's something you should put into a casual television show. When a whole movie is about a mystery and what's going to go ahead and happen, you need to have a mystery to that you can't spoil the whole damn thing. Take the usual suspects. That hinges on a mystery, but if you actually watch American Dad, and this seems to be a thing with McFarlane films and all, McFarlane shows and all that, they spoil the ending by telling you in casual conversation, oh, did you know so-and-so was this character in the movie? Well, imagine my surprise of hearing that, never seeing the movie, being spoiled, and retaining that information when I actually do see the movie, and then the whole experience is ruined for me. Spoilers, it really bugs me that people do this. That people get a kick out of this. There was a guy who actually has a spoiler about episode 7 on the back of his car, so when he was driving around, people would read it, and it was actually in the film. Now, I'm not going to tell you what that is, because if you haven't seen The Force Awakens yet, you need to go see it. And if I tell you one of the big reveals of that film, then you guys are going to hate me, you're not going to enjoy the film as much, or you might go, well, what's the point of seeing it now? You already told me what the big thing is about. Just like Citizen Kane, if I told you what Rosebud is about, then what's the point of going and seeing it, right? I mean, there's a point, but you guys are not going to be surprised by that. And by the nature of the internet today, if I go on my Twitter account, if I go on YouTube, if I go on Ranger Board, if I go on Facebook, if all I want to do is seeing what my wife is up to, or seeing what my friends are up to, or follow what my college football team is up to and stuff, just scroll down, bam, there it is. Spoiler for Super Sentai. Here is the new mech. And they don't come with spoiler warnings. It's not like, oh, new mech revealed, click here to find out what it is. No, it just posted everywhere. Same thing with movie reveals and all that. I mean, there were some jerks who were on Facebook posting what was going on, again, with the Star Wars movie and everything. I mean, heck, Google had to develop an algorithm to prevent you from getting spoilers on your Facebook page for that movie. They don't do it for anything else, seems like, because only Star Wars is what we care about, but whatever. The point I'm getting to is, in general, spoilers suck, and you should not spoil things for people intentionally. If you do it by accident, it's one thing. If I slip up and I say something, oh, you shouldn't have heard that, that's one thing. I get that. But if you do it intentionally, I hate you, okay? And frankly, okay, I don't hate these guys, but the people who are posting these magazine scans from the Japanese magazines, you are spoiling Sentai for us without giving us proper warning, and then you are eventually affecting Power Rangers. Now let's talk about this in the context of Power Rangers. Let's talk about the Golden Age of Power Rangers. Let's talk about what happened 20 some odd years ago in Power Rangers. So you just got watching, the Oyster episode where, Zack buys pearl earrings for Angela, the Megazord goes underwater, everybody gets frozen in time because of the earrings. It's a great episode. You go into the next episode, like, okay, what adventure are they going to have today? Oh, they're riding, ATVs for a charity race. Oh, there's Rita in her palace. What's she up to? Wait a second. Who's this guy? Lord Zed? And he got rid of Rita? He's the new bad guy? And his monster froze the Zords? Wait, you need new Zords? You're getting a frickin' dragon? Oh my goodness! When you saw the Mutiny Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, whatever, your mind's like, poof, just blown. Like, oh my god, I didn't see that coming. Because it was a total surprise for you, right? Now, fast forward, we're in the Power Rangers Dino Supercharge right now, and of course the final Megazord in that series is the Titano Megazord. But for those of you who've been paying attention, you've known for about 3 or 4 years what that new Megazord is going to be, because you've been following Kyoger, people have been posting about this stuff online, and, previews have been coming out from Saban and from other sources saying, oh, here's the final new Megazord, without you actually being surprised within the context of the show. Do you guys see where I'm going with this? These magazine scans and these other spoilers are ruining the viewing experience for those of us who are actually interested in the experience and people who are just, interested in watching. How is it that 3 years prior to its actual debut, I already know what this Titano Megazord is going to look like, what it does, who pilots it? I knew there was a Silver Ranger. You guys remember when I talked about San Diego Comic-Con 2015, about a year ago, and I basically said, what else did we learn? And I basically said, the only person who wasn't surprised was a 5-year-old without an internet connection. It seems to me that you can only be surprised, or you're only allowed to be surprised, if you choose not to have the internet. Because if I decide to get rid of my internet account, don't use my laptop and don't use my phone and all that, then yes, I would truly be surprised about what's going on. But I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to, turn off everything just so I don't get spoiled on what's going to happen 3 years from now in Power Rangers. And with the way some of the show's been going, heck, Power Rangers Samurai was already spoiled for us when we watched Shinkanger. Because, and spoilers if you haven't seen Samurai, although I don't know why you're watching this show if you haven't seen Samurai, but the Red Ranger is a girl. The actual leader of the Shiba House is a girl, which was something that was already in Shinkanger, but surprisingly, we knew about that before it happened in Shinkanger. Let me break down the timeline here for you guys. We have a magazine article talking about how the Red Ranger is actually a female. She's going to appear in the show. Then we have the episode that shows her in the show. Then we have all these articles written about her. She appears up in the movies, and there's photo shoots and stuff. Then we find out we're getting a translation of Power Rangers Samurai out of the Shinkanger. And then, of course, hey, female Red Ranger, because we're doing exactly what they did in the Japanese show. Do you see what I'm saying? How much more powerful would Lauren's impact be if you didn't know she was coming? How much more impactful would the princess's appearance be if you didn't know she was coming? And this doesn't even mean about new shows. Look at the older shows, for example, here. I can't do any research on Live Man right now. You know why? Because I'm trying to binge watch Live Man. But the thing is that you can't look up anything about Live Man or prepare yourself to watch a show without it being spoiled for you in some way. Let me give you a good example. Live Man, in the very first episode, starts out with three Rangers, red, blue, and yellow. But somewhere around the middle point of the series, we get two new Rangers, black and green. Now, back in the day, 1988, when this happened, wow, that was a real surprise because everybody thought, oh, they only have three Rangers. You know, we wouldn't have imagined that we would get more than three Rangers in that series. And then lo and behold, two new show up, and we got five of them. That's awesome. New team dynamic, new characters to get interested in. But now in 2016, if I want to watch that, I already know there are two more Rangers coming. Why? Because every image of Live Man now features all five Rangers. Anytime I look up information about their mechs, has all five mechs in there. Even when you go to the Wikipedia page, even in like the basic intro for any season will say it started with so-and-so members and then got more members as it went on. So you can't watch Live Man and be surprised by anything. Even the older Sentai series, everything is out there for it to be spoiled, even if you're just casually looking up stuff. I mean, if all you're doing for Live Man is going to the torrent page to download it, most of the torrent sites will greet you with an image of five Rangers. So even that is not a surprise for anybody here. The thing is, when you go to a movie, you want to be surprised. You want to find out, oh, this person was actually a bad guy the whole time and we didn't know. This person was going to die in this movie. That's what Bruce Willis was doing this whole time. That kind of stuff. And look, I didn't even tell you what movie that is, so it's not a spoiler. Okay, the whole Bruce Willis thing. But the thing is because of the internet, we can't be surprised anymore. It's like a law now. You are not allowed to be surprised anymore because the internet is around. Because we consume media, it can be posted out there for anybody, and if you read it, well, it's your own damn fault for reading it, whether we gave you fair warning or not. And again, I know a lot of you are going to be like, well, if you don't like it, Bardkeep, then just don't look it up. But again, what am I supposed to go ahead and do? Shut off my computer? Even if I don't do that, I have a Facebook page and people post all the time, and even if I do go ahead and take off all my follows on Power Rangers related stuff, I'm still going to get people to send me messages like, did you see this? Did you see that? Did you hear about this? People are still going to contact me, so of course I have to turn off my computer. And it's not like I can't go to the Ranger board because I got to look up other stuff regarding merchandising and have discussions about past things. Heck, on my Twitter account, that's usually the best way for a lot of people to get in contact with me. Or even on my YouTube. People will put things into the comments that, should be spoilers, but they're not. I mean, they become spoilers. The whole thing is, what happened to being surprised about things? You did not know there was going to be a Green Ranger in Power Rangers. You did not know that he was going to have a Dragon Zord. You did not know Tommy was going to be the White Ranger. And heck, the only thing you really got from the whole White Ranger thing was like, wow, it's a White Ranger. There's a new Ranger. And that's an advertising thing. That's a little bit different, advertising that there's going to be a new Ranger. But as far as I recall, they never advertised Lord Zed. They never advertised the Thunder Zords. Those were completely new and surprising to us because nobody knew. When they were going to go into the movie, we had no idea they were going to adapt Kaku Ranger footage and we get new Ninja Zords. We just knew we would get a movie. The fact that we got new Zords, that was a surprise to everybody. And frankly, that seems to be the only place we can actually get new things that are not surprising to us is in the 2017 movie that's coming out. Yeah, we get pictures every now and then, but we don't know anything about the plot. We haven't seen anything of the Zords. We don't know anything about that film and what it's about. Yeah, Bryan Cranston's in it, but that's not really a real surprise. I mean, if Zordon turned out to be evil in that movie, yeah, that would be a surprise, as long as somebody didn't post 6 weeks before a copy of the script for everybody online to read, and then for everybody else who's an asshole to go ahead and post, oh, Zordon's actually evil in the movie. You guys get what I'm saying here. I just I just don't understand why we can't have more mystery in the world. I mean, that's what J.J. Abrams was trying to do within the darkness. That's what he is trying to do with any of his films, is to surprise you, for you know, that the whole damn mystery box, which it's okay. There's a lot of things to say about the mystery box, but I want to go back to a point, or I want there to be a point now where magazine scans don't spoil upcoming Zord plot points or introduce new characters to us. Because, yeah, we've even got magazine scans that show us new characters are going to show up. I mean, we found out about Zuo the World before we even thought there was a Sixth Ranger. I think we were like 2, 3 episodes in. Oh, wow, here comes a Sixth Ranger. And everybody assumes there's going to be a Sixth Ranger when, again, the most recent series that did not have a Sixth Ranger, Go Busters, again, we still got spoiled that we were going to get a Silver and Gold Ranger in that. It's just maddening to me that we can't be surprised anymore, that everything has to be upfront to us and saying, okay, this is what you're going to go ahead and get, try to enjoy it. But I don't want to know about new Rangers coming. I don't want to know about new Zords. I'll tell you what's actually interesting. I'll give you a quick story of something that I thought. Uh, because this is talk about marketing and how things just kind of feed into it and everything. So in Power Rangers in Space, but for those of you who don't remember, when they had the toy lines, towards the end of the toy line, they actually came out with what they describe as the Silver Titanus Carrier Zord. It was basically the original mold of Titanus, but modified in a way to basically hold the Space Zords. His neck was taken out. Instead of putting the Dragon Shield on front of it, you would put the Mega V3, the Blue Ranger Zord, on front, and then the Mega V2 would be on top of a missile turret and all that. You could put the Mega Voyager Zords in there. And what I had assumed at the time is that would be in the show, that would be the next new Zord that we would get. Because at that point, I was not aware that Mega Ranger was a thing. Yeah, this was 1998, about the time I first did get internet service, but I didn't know anything about Sentai. So yeah, that's kind of something. And then there was an episode where the Rangers are battling the Psycho Rangers for the last time in their monster forms, and they're in all four Megazords: the Astral Megazord, Delta Megazord, Mega Voyager, Mega Winger. And there's a line of dialogue, which I probably should have seen the episode before I did this, but it just popped into my head, where Alpha says we need more power to defeat them, yada yada, stuff like that. And what my mind had said at the time, I just bought this new toy, and it's Titanus, and it's like of an Ultra Zord, and what do Power Rangers usually do in this situation? They usually get an Ultra Zord. So I was fully expecting that the Silver Titanus Carrier Zord would come in, combine with the Mega Voyager, and that's what would be the final nail in the coffin, if you will, for the Psycho Rangers, that they would be destroyed by this new Ultra Zord combination. Now, imagine my surprise when that didn't happen, that they just combined their powers and blasted them. That's pretty much what it was, which to me at the time was a little anticlimactic, but looking back at it, it makes a lot more sense, I think. I was surprised what was happening, because I did have a preconceived notion on what was going to go ahead and happen. I was like, oh yeah, here, here's a new toy, this is going to show up, yada 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 yada. But I was blown away. And even if I didn't see the toy, I would still be figuring, what are they going to do? What are they going to? Are they going to pull some fancy maneuver? Is there a new Zord coming in? Is there a new Ranger that's going to show up? Because there used to be a time in Power Rangers where you had no idea what was going to go ahead and happen. Heck, Forever Red. I do remember being surprised about Forever Red, because I don't remember anything. Because when they changed from Fox to ABC, I had no idea what was going on. And then of course after Forever Red, then everybody went into the panic mode and all that, and that's a different thing. Panic mode in what will be next. And again, new Power Rangers Ninja Steel spoiled for everybody, because we saw Ning Ninja. The fact that Ning Ninja exists already spoils the next Power Ranger season. Zyuohger spoils what will likely be the 25th anniversary of Power Rangers, and that we know what Rangers we're going to get for the 25th anniversary, unless they decide to skip and do who knows what kind of crap for that. Okay, so as usual, I've talked entirely too long on this topic, but I just had to get out there, try to articulate to you guys as best as I could why this pisses me off so. Is it the nature of where we are in this point in time and where technology is? To a degree, yes. But we can help it. We can change it. We can make it better. Because again, spoilers are intentional things that people do. So if you're on there and, you just saw Citizen Kane and you have to tell everybody because you want to be an asshole, oh, it was his whatever, because I'm not going to spoil it for you, then don't do that. Just take 5 seconds and say, what if somebody hasn't seen this movie? And I don't care if it's been 70, 80 years since that movie came out. Every day, what does Stan Lee say? Every comic is somebody's first comic? Well, I say every day somebody's discovering Citizen Kane for the first time. Don't spoil The Sixth Sense. Don't spoil The Matrix. Because believe it or not, The Matrix was actually a mystery before it came out. What the whole thing with Neo and what was really happening after the first act. That was a surprise. Nobody knew that was actually a thing. We just thought it was some weirdos and guns and bullet time and all that. Don't spoil The Usual Suspects. Excuse me. Don't spoil The Force Awakens, or heck, even Empire Strikes Back, which is the biggest spoiler because, yeah, it's a joke and it's a cultural meme, but damn, my daughter hasn't seen Empire Strikes Back yet, but I fear that by the time she gets old enough to actually watch and appreciate that movie, she's already going to know who Darth Vader really is. And of course, there's the question of, Episode 3 kind of spoils it altogether, but anyway, again, I've talked far too long about this. All I want is for people who know information that's going to spoil something to not post it. And if you are going to post it, put spoilers in the title so that we can skip over it. And don't put spoilers and then have a picture of it. Okay, that doesn't work. You have to spoilers and have a link to it. There's a difference, folks, okay? Just be considerate of other people. And there are some things we might not be able to handle as far as what marketing and promotions are going to give us, because, we've seen so many trailers that reveal too much stuff as it is. But for those of us who've seen the movies, who have been to other countries and seen this stuff and all that, don't spoil it for us. Please don't. And I don't know how you do that with Power Rangers in relation to Sentai, now that, it's a common fact and anybody, again, with the internet can look it up. But there's got to be a way to do this to actually surprise people. Now, am I disappointed that I know what the cube whale looks like? Absolutely. Now I'm going to be anticipating it within the series. And that's never good. Because I would like to watch an episode where the whale shows up and I'm like, oh my goodness, I did not see that coming. I thought they were done. I didn't think we would get any more Zords. I want that back, folks, because could you imagine how bad the Green with Evil saga would be, or how the mutiny would be, or one last one, the wedding. Yeah, they advertised that somebody's getting married, didn't say who, and then you find out Zed and Rita. Oh my goodness! But again, if we had the internet 20 years ago, wouldn't have been a surprise. Whatever. Okay, so there's a lot more to talk about this, and I really wish I had Raptor here to kind of debate it with and all that, but them's the breaks. But I want to know what you guys think about this. What are your opinions on spoilers in general? How should they be handled? And what are your opinions on spoilers in relation to Power Rangers and Super Sentai? Leave a comment below. Let me know. Otherwise, I want to thank you guys for listening. Have a good evening. And the tavern is now closed.